Okay, I thought I'd start this channel to kind of catalog my thoughts and opinions on different pieces of media. I'm going to be going over Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974, and Profanatica, Weeping in Heaven, EP, 1992, that came out. Um, yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this I got, I don't know, it was at Walmart or something. It was like $15, a steelbook. It's pretty cool. Doesn't give you a lot though. This is pretty much it. Nothing on the inside. For the it's not really going to be a review. I'm just going to be talking about it. I'm not going to do any ratings or nothing like that. I don't think have the credentials to rate something. You know, I'll just give my opinions and kind of if I have any knowledge or behind the scenes stuff I could talk about because I watched the director's commentary for that for Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Toby Hooper, the director, Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface, and Daniel Pearl, as he was a cinematographer, which that movie gets a lot of praise for the shots and stuff. I guess just talk about first here in my notes. I got Gunnar Hansen, you know, Leatherface. His portrayal is, probably everybody's favorite part, acting wise, in that movie. I think he went to a school for retarded people and kind of based his character off that a little bit. You know, his mannerisms and the way he acts. I think he was there for like 2 days, so he really got to study how they acted because obviously, Leatherface has some mental deficiencies and stuff like that. Can't really speak. And when you first see him, obviously he's a big dude, big scary dude, hitting people with hammers and chopping them up with a chainsaw and shit. But when I believe it's the third person gets whacked, you kind of see him freak out a little bit, and he's looking around, making sure nobody's coming in, and he really kind of feels like like a child a little bit, you know. He doesn't really know what's going on, and he knows he's probably going to get in trouble, type of thing, by his brothers and stuff. So that's cool. I'll go into his other characters, I guess, when I get more into the story. I'll just be talking about the actors that I like in the beginning. But Edwin Neal, he plays Hitchhiker. I mean, he got his, I believe his character, he kind of based off his cousin who's schizophrenic. And he's really good in that, you know, him cutting himself, him cutting Franklin. You never know what he's going to do next, you know. He pulls out the knife. He's like, I got a knife too, you know, type of thing. And it's kind of very unsettling when he's in that fucking car, you know, or that van. You don't know what he's going to do. He's lighting fucking pictures on fire and shit. And something that he said that always stuck with me was that acting in that movie was worse than Vietnam because he was in Vietnam. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Who knows what he did over there, but I'm sure fucking something crazy. Then Jim Seidow, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. He's the cook. He a character for me. I didn't expect him when I first watched it to be a bad dude. You know, he kind of was. I mean, obviously he's weird, but he when Sally comes in, he's comforting her, and didn't really get any weird vibes from him. I didn't. I thought he's a weird dude, but I wasn't expecting him to be the brother, really. And then when he comes back in with the fucking bag and the rope and shit, and he's got that little smirk. Nah, dude, that kind of freaks you out a little bit when you first watch that movie when you're little, and then he comes in and he's got that funny scene where he's whacking her with the broom and shit. This movie is very funny. A lot of people say it's scary, one of the scariest movies of all time. I think it's pretty funny. Obviously the second one is more comedy oriented, but this one has its humor too, with the broom scene, with the hammer scene, with the grandpa. A couple other ones, obviously. Well, talk about this guy. Paul Partain plays Franklin. I mean, it seems like everybody in the cast hated him because he's a little shit. But him blowing raspberries, struggling to get up in the house. I mean, that's peak comedy right there in a way. You know, he's eating that fucking little sausage. Kind of looks like a dude's dick or something. He's one of my favorite parts of the movie. He's just his portrayal. He's a little whiny little bitch, and it's really satisfying to see him fucking get cut by Leatherface in his gut and stuff. Then I got some facts here from watching the commentary. Like I said, the original title was originally supposed to be Leatherface, and then another running title was Head Cheese. I don't know if they just did that because just for the script and the actors, I don't think a lot of actors know the name of the movie when they're working on them, just so it doesn't get leaked or whatever. I don't think that one, they didn't really care for that. That might have just been what the original titles were going to be, and then they changed it to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is a bit better, I think. The creepy intro, Toby Hooper said it was supposed to be like pieces of the puzzle, that the flashing, the weird, the creepy noise and shit. Like a piece of the puzzle of what's going on in the actual movie, as you get started. Um, and then early on in the commentary, he said something that they were trying to get like a PG rating or something. So that's why you don't see a lot of blood in that movie, besides Franklin dying and a couple pieces of blood scattered here and there. But you don't really see anybody bleed in the movie. I mean, later on, I don't think they were trying to get a PG towards the end of the movie anymore because you could just tell they were kind of going for it later on. But the shooting, everybody knows this. The shooting was unbearably hot. Later on, Gunnar Hansen thought he was actually Leatherface for a second, and he was gonna kill freaking the actor that played Sally, the actress Marilyn Burns. He was gonna fucking, when Leatherface is like, get that bitch, or not Leatherface, Hitchhiker's like, get that bitch, and Leatherface gets up. He thought he was like ready to fucking kill her, but then he snapped back. And obviously, everybody knows this. The movie's based off of Ed Gein. But when Toby was making the movie, he didn't even know who Ed Gein was, or he didn't know the name at least. He heard people. He either lived or he had family near the Ed Gein house, and they would talk about him, and they talk about the crimes, but I don't think he ever really knew the name. And when he was making Texas Chainsaw Massacre, he wanted a full family of Ed Geins, for the movie. So I thought that was pretty interesting that he didn't know really who Ed Gein was. He just kind of got the information secondhand, Maybe that's why he said based off a true story. But obviously, he knew that a lot of the stuff he put into the movie wasn't really based off Ed Gein, besides the skin mask and the furniture and Ed Gein was never confirmed to be a cannibal. He said he never did it, but in my mind, he ate people, so. Then they had the way they got the animal bones and a lot of the carcasses and stuff. There was a vet. I think it was near the shooting, or maybe it was somewhere in Texas. It was a vet that had like a carcass pile out near where she worked. And then they just went over and grabbed pieces or whatever they could find from the carcass pile. And then, I'm not going to get into the whole story. Everybody knows, or if you don't know Texas Chainsaw Massacre, go and watch it, I guess. But I'll just go into more facts. I'm not really going to go into the whole plot of it. The teens Franklin and Sally going to their old childhood home, and they bring some friends with them and shit. And then, they go looking for their friends because they go into a swimming hole. And the one dude that walks in, I think it's the first dude that gets hit with the hammer, and then the other girl with the shorts. I don't know their names. When she gets put up on the hook, the dude that's laying on the table, when Leatherface goes to cut him, in real life, I think the chainsaw was like 3 inches from his face, and if he moved, Gunnar Hansen said that he would have nicked him and he would have fucking died. So that's pretty badass. And then I didn't really have anything in between that. I didn't get any interesting information from the commentary really. After that point, they just started talking about some stuff, mainly the cinematography, which I'm interested in, but I didn't really feel like bringing up because I don't have anything to show. So I figured might as well not even talk about it. But if you can find this DVD, or if you find just the commentary online, I'd say watch it because it's very interesting, the stuff they talk about. A lot of behind the scenes. This one also has some commentary from actors and probably a couple other people involved in the movie, but I didn't watch those. I just didn't have the time. I will watch them eventually. So before the dinner scene and they bring out Grandpa, and he's like sucking on Sally's finger and shit. Gunner, he had like a piece of tape on the knife, and supposed to have like a tube shooting out blood. And when he cut her finger, they did it like 5 different times, and it never seemed to work. So because of the heat exhaustion, and they're like going crazy basically at this point shooting that movie. I mean, I think they said they were shooting at like, I can't remember the hours. I'm not gonna put out misinformation, but they were shooting a long time in this immense heat, and he's wearing this mask, right? He's wearing, I don't think he's wearing this one. He was wearing the grandma mask or whatever. But when he took the tape off and the tube off, and he just cut her finger straight up because he was sick of it not working, and she's screaming there, losing her mind, and they just like, no one even thought about it because obviously they just thought she was acting, and everybody's so like tired and worn out from the heat that they didn't even give a fuck at that point. And I think I already talked about him also almost killing Sally at the dinner scene, because of the heat. I mean, and then Sally though, she crushes it. Marilyn Burns crushes it as Sally. Her performance by the end of the movie, she looks so depraved. She's covered in blood, and her eyes are wide. And then she's cackling at the end of the movie in the car and shit. Yep, and then my last note, Daniel Pearl, cinematography, amazing. I'm sure a lot of people know some of the stuff I said, but I thought those were kind of cool little snippets of the movie from watching the commentary. Okay, and then I'm going to go over Profanatica Weeping in Heaven EP. This also has 2 live tracks from, let me open it up here, 91. Scourging and Crowning, which I believe is on the first album, came out around 2000, I want to say, right? Didn't Hell's Headbangers put it out or something like that? I think so. And then the second song they did live, Final Hour of Christ, which is on this Have a Hedge album. Or I think it's a 2 EP comp. I'm not sure. I got this not too long ago and I listened to it, but I thought it was a album, like what's another one like that? Evil Incarnate. I have it over there. Blood of the Saints, I think it's called. It's like the 2 demo compilation, but I just thought it was a full album. But yeah, it says Christ Dethroned, the first one, first 5 songs, and then Burning Paradise, which is all the other ones. So maybe, I think it's just a comp of either 2 EPs or something like that. I don't know. Should have looked at Metal Archives, but I'm not reviewing this. But I just would say the one. Actually, I think almost all of these are on this Have a Hedge, besides Scourging and Crowning. Yeah, we got Weeping in Heaven is on here. Heavenly Father is on this one as well. And then Final Hour of Christ is on here, on this Have a Hedge. But I'll be talking about this, which I wore Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirt for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre review, and I have my Profanatica shirt, but I wasn't going to wear it. Figured I'd have it, though, to show that I like it. Yeah, the first song, Weeping in Heaven, I got my notes here. Fucking, what can you say? Depraved vocals by Paul Ledney. I mean, absolute legend. I was lucky enough to meet him at Dead by Dog. I got my shit signed right here. I mean, he's so badass. Who else we got on here? I don't know these fellas. So yeah, Paul Ledney drums and Black Vomit. Brett Makowski guitars. Aragon Amori bass. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. I don't know. Amori? That sounds right. Amori sounds good. Yeah, the bass on here is pretty good too, I thought. You can't really hear it all the time, but it picks up here and there. Yeah, the depraved vocals. I mean, the line, "I vomit on God's child." Fucking sick. I don't even think that was supposed to be on the song, actually. I think that was supposed to be like a break, and then they go into it, or there's supposed to be like a guitar part or something. But then I think the producer or whatever said you should add something right there, and then that was just, I think, improvised. So that's pretty cool. I mean, listening to them do that live and being able to sing that with them is pretty badass. I mean, just this EP. I mean, it's only 5 minutes. That's why I decided to talk about it, because if it was a full length album, I think I'd be here all day talking about it. But the drums I think, are amazing on this. I know for the full length that came out, like I said, I can't remember, like 2000, I think it came out or something like that. I think the drums are programmed, I think, but I don't know about this. It's probably not. But they sound awesome either way. Kind of behind the beat parts, and then obviously it goes into the more, black metal, not blast, but kind of like the punkier D-beat kind of beat, that Paul does so well. I think he's one of the best drummers in black metal, just for keeping it catchy and not, it doesn't need to be technical. You can just do kind of behind the beat shit, and then you can go into a more traditional, like, D-beat kind of flow. The riffing on here is really good. Good guitar squeals in Weeping in Heaven, I thought. Really memorable parts. The song structure is very memorable, and kind of what's coming next, but it doesn't even matter because it's so heavy. It kind of like another band that does that for me is kind of like Obituary, kind of where kind of what's coming, but it's still so heavy. The riffs are just there, The lyrics, I mean, are fucking awesome. Not gonna go all crazy, but fucking. Well, the I Vomit on Godchild is not even in here, but the lungs of hell burn the heavens, crosses bled the blood of angels, pale skin shredded, shit like that. I mean, the lyrics are just right there. I can't remember if he repeats anything or not. Honestly, I don't pay attention to lyrics really. I just listened to his voice. It's just so good. And I don't think a lot of Profanatica releases even have the lyrics in them, or at least the ones I have don't. But you can kind of pick up what he's saying sometimes, so it doesn't really matter. The quality is really good on this. The two songs on the EP, the two live songs, not very the best. But if you know the songs, it's fine. You could pick it up. It's like average live quality from back then. Good atmosphere too. I just love it. It's one of my favorite things by Profanatica. One of the best. If not this, then it's the full length. And then I thought the last one they put out was really top notch. I thought good length too. It's not, it's 5 minutes. You can listen to it and you're like, yeah, dude, that was it, dude. Very creepy riffs. I don't know how to really describe the type of riffs that I like. Very earwormy, like that type of shit. Which that's on the full length. That riff I was just humming, but I think that's pretty much it for this. I mean, just give it a listen. It's 5 minutes, dude. Take the time and put it on, and it's definitely worth it. And then I'm not going to review this because I haven't finished it, but I figured I'd just bring up stuff that I'm reading or other stuff I'm listening to and not give a review about it, just so I have it cataloged of when I was reading the stuff, because sometimes I forget when I read something or when I listened to something. Right now I'm reading Tony Iommi, fucking Iron Man, the book. About halfway through it. I'm in the Heaven and Hell section. I think I just got the Heaven and Hell. So they just got Ryan James Dio, which that's some of my favorite stuff. Heaven and Hell, Mob Rules, Dehumanizer, and the Heaven and Hell album that came out, The Devil You Know. That one's fucking awesome. Fear is fucking good. Bible Black is really good. Turn of the Screw, dude, just fucking listen to it. Tony Iommi, Guitar God, Metal God. His riffs are awesome. I even like a lot of the Tony Martin stuff. The album Tire is really good. There's some gay songs on there. There's some gay songs on all the albums, but who gives a fuck? And then I got the new 6 Feet Under playing in the background. Chris Barnes is back at it. I don't know. I really liked it. I think Mr. Blood and Guts and Mutilated Corpse and Ill Wishes are the worst songs on the album. Ill Wishes, I mean, him whispering is kind of goofy, but I get what he was going for, and I kind of like it. Naked and Dismembered is one that gets replayed a lot for me. Next to Die is really good. Unmistakable Smell of Death. And I really like Skin Coffins as well. Approach Your Grave, too, is the first song. I think that's a really solid very slow, and I don't really like a lot of slow stuff, but for some reason that one, I like the lyrics and everything on it, you know, and I like the melodies and everything. But I think that's about it. I think I'll get better at this probably as I go on. I know I stumbled over some words and I mispronounced some stuff, and I probably forgot about half the stuff I was going to talk about. But I think it didn't go over as bad as I thought it would as a first video type of thing. I got a bunch of albums, but mainly CDs. So all the stuff that I'm going to review, I should own a physical copy of. I'm never going to review an album I don't own. For movies and stuff, I kind of use Prime a lot of the time. I probably have like 40 DVDs, but not all of it's horror, and I just want to keep it kind of horror-ish. Maybe next time I'll bring up a serial killer that I'm kind of learning about. Right now, back on my Ed Kemper fix, Albert Fish, you know, Robert Burdella, a lot of those guys. I'm kind of, you know, because sometimes if you learn about too many of those guys, they all blend together, and then you kind of got to go back and check them out. But I don't know. It's just very cool topics, I think. I guess if anybody enjoyed this, let me know.